movie junkies, welcome back to Twin Flicks, where we always here celebrating the magic of movies and most importantly, physical media with you. So today is a real exciting review for me at least. I've been waiting a long time for this. In fact, I heard that it was announced a year and a half, close to 2 years ago, that this was getting a 4K. And it is finally here. It comes out this next Tuesday at the time of filming this review, April 23rd, and that is Martin Scorsese's Best Picture, Best Director, multi-nominated film, The Departed. And I still have the previous 2007 Blu-ray, which has had a couple other reissues, but with the same transfer. Now, there's been a little confusion out there about where exactly this 4K is sourced from. So I reached out to my rep over at Warner Brothers and asked him exactly how this 4K was handled, and this is his reply. We did not create a new DI set of files. Rather, we restored and worked from the original 2006 final DI files to create the HDR master with the wide color gamut. Those 2006 DI files are 2K, and so as part of the mastering finishing process, the digital picture was properly upscaled to 4K. Hope that helps. Alright, so that's straight from the horse's mouth over at Warner Brothers. And fans of the film have been clamoring for a new updated transfer, because the 2007 Blu-ray really does show its age, especially when compared to the 4K. Now, we all know movies upsampled or upscaled, however you want to call it, to 4K. It can be hit and miss depending on how the upscale is handled. So let's take a closer look at The Departed on 4K UHD compared to the previous Blu-ray and if it's worth the upgrade. This release carries a stunning 4K transfer and is a perfect example of what a 4K upscale movie can do. Now, at the time, The Departed on Blu-ray carried some of the most cleanest and most vivid hues and colors I've seen on Blu-ray, and it looked great back in the early 2000s. However, when I compared the 4K to the Blu-ray, I noticed something very interesting I never picked up on before, and honestly, quite frankly, why would I, since we had nothing else to compare the Blu-ray to at the time? It's obvious that the Blu-ray carries an almost pinkish or reddish hue throughout the presentation. Some areas it looks more subtle than others, but it's definitely there, namely within the white levels. The same goes for skin tones. It's obviously not supposed to be there. The 4K has done away with this pinkish or reddish hue throughout the presentation with an image that looks much more natural now. Now, the overall color reproduction is a big area where the 4K outshines the Blu-ray. And with the use of HDR10 grading, it really helps to bring the image as close as possible to the theatrical presentation. There are some very nice, healthy, and vivid primaries that look crisp and clear and clean, with fantastic color depth and nuances. There is some outstanding uses of reds, from richer candy-like reds to more deeper maroon reds, such as with the rugby uniforms, police lights and brake lights, walls, and the opera scene that's bathed in a deep glowing red that's more balanced and cleaner looks fantastic. It now exudes more detail with Jack Nicholson and his two girlfriends. We also have all those crimson blood reds that's deeper and has a more authentic look to it. A couple examples here are with Martin Sheen's death that carries more detail, and also blood on hands. Also the finale when Jack Nicholson is shot. In all areas, the blood red is more active and detailed. Blues are especially more vivid and more attractive looking, especially with the blues of the police uniforms, skylines. Going back to the rugby scene, the mix of reds, blues, and deeper greens looks magnificent. Fire is a great reference point here. From the few car explosions, it looks much stronger now on the 4K, along with a little tighter glow to it. Secondary colors such as browns and grays on top of the rooftops of buildings, wood, brick to colored shirts all looks more appealing now. Skin tones are warmer now. The 4K gives a more natural, lifelike appearance that draws out facial features much more within the skin details and facial close-ups. Saturation is increased here, helping to inject a little bit more punch and life into the image. That also helps with color ranges, maintaining a lifelike natural color tones. Contrast is dialed in just enough to help draw out more natural brightness that really helps with daylight scenes, and also the improved contrast helps greatly with darker and night scenes. The color nuances, the clarity, and the level of color depth is outstanding here and truly pops off the screen. It's a real testament of what HDR10 grading can really do to an image when produced correctly. Now, the Blu-ray handled black levels very well, I thought. I never had any complaints about it. That is until I compared it to the 4K, where I did notice some very slight crushing in areas. The HDR10 really helps in this department, enhancing the black levels, looking much better resolved here with truer, deeper, inky blacks and richer shadows, with more details within the shadows. That is absolutely gorgeous, drawing out more depth in the image and also detail level. An example is the foot chase in Chinatown. It looks extraordinary with all the different neon signs and colors, and detail levels and objects are clearly visible even within the deepest, darkest corners of the frame. The white levels look fantastic with exceptional, brighter, crisper natural whites that never clips. The Blu-ray with windows, lights, even a shot like this is blown out in the white levels. Again, the 4K handles this much better, along with excellent highlights. Even the projector in the adult theater looks fantastic against the dark auditorium. And then all the infamous X's that are intentionally placed in certain scenes of the frame, used as a warning cue to the audience, is more noticeable now and not as blown out. You see more detail within those X's. But now let's get into the overall image quality. Image looks exceptionally clean and fresh. It's obvious this is a new transfer here. The entire presentation from start to finish is razor sharp as it can get, even with wide shots and also all those tight close-ups, thanks to the higher 2160p resolution, giving more finer lines, drawing out an abundance of textures, and all of this without ever compromising its film-like appearance. Some really nice reference points here when compared to the Blu-ray are with the police uniforms, especially. You can easily make out all the detail, every stitch and seams, giving excellent texture to those shirts, along with the police badge that has a golden glow to it, and you can clearly make out the wording on the badge, the belt, and the issued sidearm that all carries internet details and textures that are clearly discernible now, something that was really lacking on the Blu-ray. Facial features are honestly just astonishing, revealing every imperfection, pores, freckles, the wrinkles on Jack Nicholson and Leonardo DiCaprio's foreheads, hair from facial with stubble, beards, mustaches, along with every bead of sweat and dried on blood and grime on faces. The 4K also carries with it more depth and three-dimensionality, giving a really impressive lifelike appearance. And there's also more spaciousness within certain scenes, showing off the grand scope of the film. This 4K completely showcases the cinematography, filling the 239:1 frame with an abundance of sharp detail from the rich production design. The bitrate I noticed started around 68, and I saw it top out around 98-99 Mbps, giving an excellent 4K presentation. Now, much like with the Blu-ray, the grain structure here on the 4K is fully intact. However, I did notice the 4K grain field does look better resolved and tighter on the 4K than it did on the Blu-ray, giving a beautiful, natural 35mm filmic appearance. Alright, now let's dig into the audio presentation of The Departed in 4K, and unfortunately, this did not get an updated Atmos mix, which is a little unusual given that Warner Brothers has been notorious for giving their new UHD releases new Atmos mixes. And frankly, I was quite disappointed that they didn't. Between the classic rock songs, the score, to the heavy amount of gunfire and explosions, just the sheer atmosphere of the film, it would have been great to have a fully realized sound mix. But the audio has been updated to a new DTS HD 5.1 lossless mix, which still sounds outstanding and definitely gets the job done, and is a very, very nice upgrade from the old Dolby Digital 5.1 track that we had on the Blu-ray. From the classic pop songs to Howard Shore's score and gunfire, explosions, it all carries much more weight and oomph to them. It's a very nice surround experience that stays crisp and clear, and dialogue is rendered perfectly. Alright, so my score for Warner Brothers 4K UHD presentation of The Departed, I'm giving the video a resounding 5 out of 5, and the audio a 4.5 out of 5. I was very impressed with this 4K presentation across the board, showing what an upscaled 4K can do for a modern photochemically shot film. Alright, but now here's the real test, and I want to hear your opinion on this, so head over to the comment section. When you look at the differences here between the previous release Blu-ray and this new 4K UHD, which do you think looks better? Head over to the comment section and let me know. Alright, well, thank you so much for hanging out with me, talking about Martin Scorsese's The Departed on 4K UHD, comparing it to the previous Blu-ray. And as always, guys, keep physical media alive, and we'll see you next time.